These are mixed reality glasses. They have a massive screen that just floats in front of you, self-tinting lenses, a special feature for the Switch, and best of all, you can just plug them into anything. It's pretty cool. I love the quality of the screen, the ease of use, and the case that it comes with. But it's not perfect, and there are actually 3 major things that I think it should change, which we'll get to in a minute. The VITURE One has a 1080p, 60Hz display that essentially gets reflected onto the glass, which gives it this translucent heads-up display kind of look. Despite it being quite over 100 inches, which isn't quite true, you can't see any pixels. Like, at all, unless you're playing a Nintendo game. The screen takes up about this much space of your field of view. So yeah, if you're gaming in a large open space, the screen seems huge, but if the distance is smaller, what? How's it so tiny? They are comfortable to look through, and if you wear glasses like me, you can adjust the focus manually. This is actually kind of sick, because it doesn't mean I have to wear contacts to use these. However, it only adjusts the focus for the screen, so anything else that you're seeing around it will be blurry still. Apparently they go to -5 on each eye, but I'm -4.75 and -5 and I'm maxing them out, so. The translucent screen looks really cool and futuristic, until it gets bright, and then you can't really see what you're looking at. Thankfully, you can just press a button and the glasses will tint themselves and get darker, which is really cool. So if you're somehow a Nintendo fan who goes outside, they're great for using in the sun. They also have built-in speakers which are fine. They're useful in a pinch, but nowadays where you can just connect your AirPods to your Switch, that's a much nicer option. But that's a running theme with these glasses. They're useful in a pinch. The best part of these are their convenience. They just plug into anything with USB-C. A Steam Deck, a MacBook, the new iPhones, and apparently you get 10% more battery when using them with the Steam Deck, so that's kind of cool. And of course they work with the Switch, but in a special way. You need to get a dock pack for it to work with the Switch, because Nintendo's picky, and the Switch has to think that it's in a dock. But actually, this thing is really cool. It acts as a battery pack and a dock for the Switch, so you can take it and charge it anywhere. But you can also just use it as a 13,000 mAh battery on anything. Plus, it has an HDMI port, so you don't have to use it on just USB-C devices, which means you could plug it into a Wii, a PS4, or anything really. You can get a case to slap it onto the back of the Switch. And at first I was worried about thermals because it looks like there's no way for the air to flow through. But actually there's a tiny air gap as you can see, and I've never noticed any overheating. Which brings me to one of my 3 major problems with this thing. Every time I've used this thing, the right arm of the glasses gets super hot to the touch. You can only feel it if you're physically touching this part of the arm, but it makes me anxious wearing them just because of how close they are to your eye. Issue number 2 are the size of these things. The screen in particular. The glasses have an option to stay in a fixed place as you move your head. On paper, that sounds really cool. It's useful being able to look at the edges of the screen straight on, because the lens can make things like the HUD and Tears of the Kingdom look a bit blurry, because it's around the edges. Unfortunately though, what you see normally is the full size of the screen. They don't extend to the rest of the glasses, so when you turn your head, the screen essentially crops as it's gone beyond what it can display, which is kind of annoying. If the screen were bigger, this might not be an issue. And finally, the fit. I wouldn't want to be seen playing Zelda on these in public, because they just don't look like actual sunglasses. They stick out in front of your head to make room for the components, and also, they're a bit too small for me, but I have a massive head, so that's probably why. It would be sick if they could release a cheaper model, and cut out some things like the speakers and eye adjustments, and then make it slimmer and look less clunky. Clearly these are very much a first-gen product, but for what they're set out to do, they do a really good job. They're pretty niche, so unless you think these are super useful for you, I'd save your money. But hey, compare it to the price of a 100-inch TV, and then yeah, it's worth it, especially on the go. But yeah, there's a link in the description for these, so you should check them out at least. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more. Also, click here to find out what's next for Mario Kart.